moving on to a much more home ground. But in terms of especially play against the Pistols, that shouldn't really make a huge difference between the maps. They need to just clean up their play and play together more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do feel there's an awful lot kind of in their own heads, you know, their own worst enemy, it definitely felt like. And you could just see that. You don't have to be a massive expert in the game to know that things did not go well, and not necessarily only themselves to blame, but heavily themselves. We'll see here. Starting off on the T side, getting into the pistol. It is, of course, going to be a bloodbath. Flashes spammed over the top. Here we go. So many bodies. 3 coming away for the T side. 2... well, I guess 4 away for the T side. They're able to write everybody off. There was a kill over on the B side of things from a little bit of a lurk in the final few moments of this here push. So looking very good. Bomb goes down. Fasher finds the final kill. And yeah, that's exactly what we want to see from EcsTATIC. Not really bothered. Not really keeping their heads in that nuke. They're moving forwards. Looking good.
9 players in the same postcode. And Fasher there doing work. Stamping those ladders. 264 damage in the first round alone, of course. Heaviest hitter on EcsTATIC by some margin, so we want to see him in good shape here as they look to turn around this series. Force buy on the cards, though, for 1 shot. And given what we saw on Nuke, I guess we should be focusing here on EcsTATIC and saying, what have you changed? How are you going to approach playing the Pistols here?
Yes, for sure. Those of us that were maybe not here, there was an awful lot of half-buy winning, and probably, to be honest, in recent history of my casting, and watching even, probably the most that I've seen for quite some time being won by either side. So, bit messy in that sense. 2 MP9s up close. Mac-10 able to find one. It's all a bit of a bait for the boost up. Maybe if we had a kill from one of those MP9s, this would be a good-looking round, but it's not going to be the case. EcsMankz with the flank at the right time. It was actually EcsTATIC with the gotcha play, and they will only lose the 1 player. So, pretty solid stuff. Here we go. This is looking a bit more promising so far.
Heavy eco on the cards for 1 shot, so we shouldn't expect too much here. Heavy A stack on the cards. Just decided we haven't got the weaponry. Let's just set up here. Hope the T side walks into us. Is a bit of a Batman there from FPS, and they're all swinging. And it's a shooting gallery on a no frags found, and that's good cash in the bank for EcsTATIC. This is what we're here for. Rifles in play. Given that we haven't watched a great deal of one shot in the past, I'm very interested to see what styles they're going to bring out here on the CT side of Vertigo.
Alright, here we go. This is crunch time very quickly for one shot, to be honest. As we say, Vertigo, it moves very quickly. We've only been here for a few minutes. Early nade going in, but they were ready for the B play way faster than GetJekko was expecting. Rotations are in, but goodness me, they are just making mincemeat out of them. This is so damn fast, so damn aggressive, and at the end of the day, so damn effective from the side of EcsTATIC, making it look easy. Daffu misses the head of Cynics, but the round's already over. 4 on 2, and yeah, the AWP and M4 just going to try and make it into the next round. Wow.
What a contrast, though. What a contrast from Nuke, where a lot of slow, defaulty T rounds into afterplants here. Afterburners are on, taking those spawns, getting aggressive. Mac-10 in first on the flashes, and combine this with the pistol, and you have to say, EcsTATIC, so far, have no interest playing slow and steady CS. Balls to the wall, maximum attack.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the way I would say it, yeah. Balls to the wall is pretty good. Wow, okay. So we'll see whether it continues. One shot definitely, you know, getting caught with the timings, even. The early nade goes in, and it didn't really land, and I don't think you make it away in any scenario there. So, GetJekko a bit off with the timing, unfortunately. Maybe going for that play in his head, but didn't have the best spawn for it, for example. And not really compensating for that. So we'll see. Half-buy coming in here. Fair bit of utility. Of course, that AWP in the mixer as well. EcsTATIC, no real respect. Quick up ramp, as they were quick in to be in the previous round, and quick for the whole turn of the pistol and the follow-up rounds. So this is Very good stuff from EcsTATIC, and like I say, very disrespectful, I think, at the end of the day, and that's perhaps how they have to answer back after nuke.
Bird from Sky, perfect timing. 2 fast frags. Nades raining in as well on towards A, as it was only the half by here from one shot around that AWP, but we'll certainly be looking to get more out of this round, and the double nades are just perfection. Nothing going the way of one shot in this round at least. Greg here, trapped in towards headshot. Does find a frag. Feels inevitable to be traded. 2 kills come in as maybe EcsTATIC slipping up a little bit, but it shouldn't matter. We just check on this low HP.
Yeah, we had a split second there, didn't we? Maybe another kill comes in for the AWP somehow, but not going to happen. What does Jekka do? It's kind of futile. Maybe try and recover one of the weapons later on in the round after they've left the bomb site, but even then, just don't really think it's going to happen for him. So, yeah, EcsTATIC looking solid, up to 5. One shot struggling to get any kind of pressure in these rounds. And of course, being on the CT side, the money is a big, big problem. Down goes Jekka at the tail end. Will be the 5th coming in. He was hanging around hoping to get that AWP, but not going to happen for him. EcsTATIC, massive turnaround, right? And I think this is part of where maybe they get halfway through nuke and they're like, you know, this is going to be tough for us. They're a really difficult team to deal with. Maybe don't put too much pressure on ourselves here, guys. Keep it together and let's get it going on map number 2. We know how good our Vertigo is. And well, here we are, seeing it.
Looking good so far, and so much money in the bank is going to be multiple rounds required here for one shot, and it's not off to a good start. Wolfy, be it luck, be it just spotting a sliver, be it good timing, finds the opening as one shot again. Our man down here on the rifles. Such a tricky position to be in, an EcsTATIC runaway train at the moment. There's no stopping them.
Wow. Insane shot to open us up. Wolfy was very quiet on nuke, it has to be said. Usually battling for that top spot alongside the likes of Fasha and EcsMankz. It really was not the case. Flash comes over, ineffective. Lands behind Daffu. He's easily able to find the kill onto Fader. They're trying their best. It's just not good enough, their best, you know? It's off by a mark or two, an inch or two, however you want to put it. It is not quite good enough to be taking on a team like EcsTATIC. 5 on 3. 35 seconds left, so they're certainly running the clock down a little bit, which could be somewhat of a risk. 30 seconds. We've got a player like Jekka at the back of the catwalk, and that is a difficult spot to deal with. Greg is here pretty quickly as well. This could be dangerous. Bomb gets dropped. Trade is instant. AWP's found the lurk. Oh, and that timing is so very awkward for Greg. The drop down coming in. Will be a kill found, but the Molotov is effective. Daffu goes down, but posthumously finds the final kill. A little closer than it's been in the past, but EcsTATIC still coming out on top.
Yes, indeed. A little bit of a dent in the economy, but seeing that replay, I think it was full luck there on Wolfy's side, as only route back into this round was Jekka finding a multi-frag, and unfortunately just swiftly traded, and again it's one shot on the pistols. Again, it's another opportunity for EcsTATIC to build up the bank, and difficult to say, but it's hard to find the positives here for one shot at the moment. It's looking like a completely different game to what we saw on Nuke.
EcsMankz with the slight off angle here, difficult to deal with. Will get traded out. He should have some support from the top side though, and he does. So we're happy with damage if we're one shot, but unfortunately it doesn't give them that impossible chance into the round that maybe they were looking for. Boost up for Cynics. Looks pretty nasty. The AKs though will rip through these unarmored opponents. Easy as you like. Jekko will be the only one left with the MP9. Does get a dink, but he's returned one by Fasha. That'll be 7 in a row now. EcsTATIC asking how long this goes on for, how deep they can get this run going. They make it to a 10-0, then that's kind of a scoreline that looks like, okay, this should be their game, even just off the back of that. So they're really looking good, showing no signs of slowing down. One Shot just struggling to get into any of these rounds.
Yes, indeed. Thus far, Vertigo speedrun is going well. Get to really meet stiff resistance. It's Greg here. Decided I need to force the issue. I need to try and make the play. It was a decent idea, but to the lesser of his opponents. And how many more rounds in a row? One Shot going to start man down and be in an uncallable position. What do you do from here? How do you find a reply?
Yeah, just getting mega unlucky. I think Daffu had the scope in there of FPS and the boost up difficult to deal with there. Really just looking for the scraps. Yeah, I know. They want the 1v1s. They want the fights. They're greedy for it. It is usually how it goes with a team like this of young, hungry fraggers, where it's like, you've got some great individual prowess here, but you have to chisel it. You have to get the discipline. You have to realize when, okay, it's not going to work in this game. What do we do now? I don't think they really have much else in the strat book other than let's look for a pick. And then when EcsTATIC are winning the fights, ready for you to come at them, they've got better timing, better spacing, better positioning, and they win most of the fights. And also individually looking much more confident here. One Shot just don't seem to have any idea how to respond. And I think that's what we're getting at the moment on Vertigo.
Worse for wear? Yes, indeed. EcsTATIC going to be 8 to the good. Mentioned a few times, but of course the economy here is out of control, and the word we like to use here on the cast is traction. And One Shot aside of these exit frags are getting none of it. I feel like that's the hardest part of this position is, what do you even call in the following gun rounds? Nothing's worked. You've lost a lot of opening picks. Do you just throw a Hail Mary, start 4 on towards A, or try and force out B lobby control? Do you play really passive and just decide we're going to try and lock out in a retake, or sit back on our nades? It's a very unenviable position, and yeah, I wouldn't like to be in their shoes at the moment. Difficult to call.
Yeah, I think so, right? And the thing is, you're going to come up against a team like EcsTATIC, which are very much where One Shot would like to be in a few months' time, right? They are maybe 6 months ahead of where your journey is, as it were. Learning a lot, surely, right? Like on a map that, again, is similar to EcsTATIC's nuke. I would arguably say a little worse. They really do not like playing it, and it's semi-successful, maybe. I've not looked deeply into the results as well, who they've been playing. EcsTATIC don't really care about that. There's not too many teams at this level that are much better than them on this map. The two-man setup in towards middle, it does result in a quick trade, right? But can you stay alive? No. Greg will go down quickly after the fact, of course. So it maybe needs you to find the first kill from there. It's what we would call a one-and-done spot. You've got that twice. So you're going to lose 2 players. You need to be finding that first kill. Does not happen. Meanwhile, on ramp, fight lost as well. So looking very, very good here. EcsTATIC with a solid man advantage once again. And they got all the options in the world, you know. It looks like they might try and take things back towards B. However, Fascia will fall. But bomb site, easy pickings.
Manx getting in early. Players are rotating over, and this is definitely a winnable position here for the One Shot squad. We can just see, though, probing each of the sites at the same time, and Cynics had no idea that Wolfy could have scaled up already, and somehow we're in a one-on-one, and needless to say, given the scoreline, this is a must-win for FPS. He has to get his team on the board.
Yeah, definitely messing around a little bit here on the EcsTATIC side, trying a bit too hard to play the mind games, it would seem. And it's left them in the first real chance that One Shot have had for a while. FPS taps onto the bomb. Daffu not moving, though. He ain't buying it. He'll take a late move coming in, and, well, this time it is a hold. You've got to try and find it. He's not leaving himself a lot of time! Ooh, and they just get it. He is ever so slightly late. Not even half a second, it felt like. Defuse comes in. One Shot will get their first round by the breadth of a hair. Goodness me. That is as close as it comes.
I thought Daffu had done it. I really thought he'd done it. This must be so close, you know,
yeah,
milliseconds.
Yeah, that's insane.
But it has to be said, if there's a round to lose, if you're ecstatic, is that one kill all 5 players and get a bomb plant. Their buy here is vastly superior, at least in terms of utility, to the CT side. There's no armor on towards Grek as well for good measure, and thankfully for that CT side, the open kill finally is going in their direction. Now they just have to convert it. They can't get reset now. That's pretty much game over.
Okay, so, I mean, you know, they're given that chance in, looking alive and capable. Not quite said and done just yet. Minute and 5, ecstatic. Clearly not their braggadocious selves that we saw in those early 5 or 6 rounds are just running in and going for it. They're having to think a little bit more about it. Gap in the smoke here that they're really not accounting for at all. Free kill for Fadet. And that's a 5-on-3. This looks relatively good. Fasha, though, finds number 14 in the game as he takes down Fadet. Solid stuff as the smoke dissipates. Gives them a chance back into it. Nice flash over the top to go alongside the smoke, but you just spam through on that A1S. It is deadly. Daffu left very low as well as he gets dinked out, I believe. So Fasha going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting here. Actually, all of it, because his teammates have left him, and he's only good for the 1. There we are. 2 in a row. They survived with 3 this time, so gap close is certainly possible.
Much cleaner stuff. An FPS on that CT side. Has to be said, it's been a tough ordeal for the team overall, but there's a bright spark so far. Definitely his FPS here. Opening kill and close it out at the end. Good stuff from him. Going into this following round, it's still good money for ecstatic, and that loss bonus is racking up, so it's still a long road for one shot back to a really competitive CT side. Is maybe there's a stop call. Looks to be that way, so hopefully we can get it medics back soon enough. That would be nice, but for the moment, a little bit of momentum going back the way of one shot.
Definitely having a few issues today, unfortunately, so been a bit of a weird one. So it's been a bit hard. It's been a bit hard for sure. I mean, yeah, it comes at an awkward time as well once again, so hopefully not going to be waiting too much longer. We did have a few on the first map as well. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think we're unfortunately a little in the dark about this one, so quick little break hopefully will give us some time to work with and get things back in here, folks. So thank you very much for sticking with us. It shouldn't be too long, right? We got him sorted on that first map, and it does suck to have to just take it away, but it's the way it is, so we'll be back in a few. What the return looks like after an extended wait. Wolfy, ooh, trying to find it. There it is. He spots a player out through the cracks of the scaffold, and big damage onto Fadet to start us off.
Spread out stuff from ecstatic. Sitting back on A. Working mid and B a little bit for the moment, but far from committing in either direction just yet. Daffu. Volley for mid. A few flashes as well for good measure, as ecstatic now thinking about a little bit of mid control. There's Wolfy again on the same angle, and Fadet. I guess that's just a clear-cut example of being a little bit kind of in the lesser in terms of the knowledge on this map, as Wolfy finds a great opening, and ecstatic have been so clean with their man advantages in this game and one shot. They have to keep this rolling on the CT side. They can't get broken here.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one, right? I think to take the first tag or maybe go down to it super early, it's like you're trying to play for info, you're trying to play for the control of the ramp area. But once you get tagged, you've got to drop back if you even fully have that knowledge and fully know where the angle is. Clearly he didn't really, or at the very least he was feeling cheeky. And it backfires. A lot of pressure out towards middle here from EcsTATIC, looking to burst their way in via bridge. Get in towards this B-bomb site. GetJekka is the only one left in at the back site, but the rotations are quick. Cynics finds 3. They had no idea where he was at. And that, indeed, will be the round as he finds all those frags. Wolfy going down after time as well for good measure. They do have money to buy into this one. Just about. I don't think they have time for an AWP, though, so pretty difficult stuff there. After such a great start, it falls apart.
Such a massive free K. Here from Cynics. Economy would have been disastrous if they had actually lost this round, and thankfully for them, it does indeed get recovered. EcsTATIC. A little bit of a pause here. They've definitely got money to reinvest into this one, and we should soon be getting underway, so no issues there as one shot. It's always going to be a difficult CT side, considering how far they went down early. But if they make it up to 4, 5, maybe 6 rounds, throw in T-side pistol, maybe there's an opportunity here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a difficult run back. And a weird turn of affairs, it feels like. I'm not too sure, to be honest. EcsTATIC taking some time, and it's always good in scenarios like this. It's a bit chaotic, I guess, in the previous, because they really had no idea, even with the loud AK, of course. Sometimes you can see it with the A1S, but they really had no idea where Cynics was from. 3 players back-turned, making it look easy, really. So, EcsTATIC dropping the ball ever so slightly. Looking to keep it together into this one, though. Maybe give themselves a bit more time to hit the bomb site this time.
Bit of a flash play. Bit of information here on towards B for one shot. For the moment, not spurring too many rotates. Second flash is going to grant them a lot more information as well for good measure. And now the numbers are loading up on A, and as we can see on the minimap, seems to be where EcsTATIC is grouping. So for the moment, one shot leaning in the right direction, and the cheeky boost on Crane is coming out.
Oh, we'll see. Very cheeky indeed. Not a lot of utility left for either side here. 40 seconds again, EcsTATIC running the clock way down. There's the boost, and there's the escape. Both of them getting out. As a bit of a run boost effect comes in, EcsTATIC going to be stuck for ideas then, and of course a bit more information gathered as well off the back of the boost, so they're a man up, and they've got so many bodies here ready to go. Simple smokes coming in, nice spot from Fader above the smoke, reading into Wolfy's play pretty well. Bomb plant coming through, Cynics will get aggressive, and this man can do no wrong right now. Fasher the only one left. But with 10 seconds and 5 players to find in total, it's not going to happen. He's going to try and get out of there. Take the hero AK into the next round. One shot have figured the EcsTATIC T side, and they're looking good in these wins, to be fair. Especially this one. Last one's a bit chaotic, but this one's pretty damn good.
Yes, indeed. Feels like they're being the proactive team. They're the ones pulling out the tricks, making the plays, and it's EcsTATIC reeling on the other side in terms of getting into a bomb site where it's not loaded up with players. So again, given EcsTATIC start, it was always going to be a brilliant T side from the Danish mix. One shot, making this more competitive, bringing it closer, and finally, it's taken a long time, but they have drained that terrorist bank account. A chance here to force an eco in the next.
Cynics, newfound confidence in these past couple of rounds, goes for a wide swing before the smoke comes in, off the back of a cheeky little flashbang. We'll see a couple more coming down as well. The Molotov's going to burn some members. Slight tag onto Fasher. Actually a HP advantage for EcsTATIC right now, but you can see one shot, feeling way more confident. to go for these. FPS. It's a good angle against a Mac 10 that feels kind of frisky. Goes around the corner, nearly gets taken down. Not going to be the case. What is the responsive from EcsTATIC? I think it's pretty difficult for them to get up ramp because they don't have an AWP to work with here, Alan.
Not to mention the utility here for this T side. They clearly want to try and force out some ramp control, but by the time it comes in, they're going to be relying so much on the flashes, and they've only got 2 remaining. Feels like endless utility coming in from the T side. It's now the flash is going to be dropped. It does white FPS, and he's caught out in the open. Tries to take the shot through the gap, but can't connect. Important opening pick from an EcsTATIC. And now it's one shots who are asking questions of on this defense.
This is a proper test for them, it feels like. Get Jekka with a nice smoke. Again, though, EcsTATIC running the time down. 20 seconds. Jekka gets aggressive. He dishes out damage, but he's got the information. Just play a bit safe. Try and deny the bomb away, and that is certainly doable from a spot like this. They're very ready to just go through it. Trying to get aggressive on the T side. Big damage from Jekka. Bomb goes down, but it's just bought so much space. They're so vulnerable. Hardly any time. Comms all over the place. Meanwhile, the CT side, cool, calm, and collected, very ready for it. And sure, the bomb plant comes in for EcsTATIC, but despite being a man down, they'll come out with 3 on the CT side. What is going on?
Feels like the individuals are starting to show up here. I'm sure we'll see them in the replay. You can see Jekka. It's not just the frags. He's buying, 2, 3, 4 seconds, which might seem like a small thing, but that allows all these rotates to come in. There's so many shots being spammed through as EcsTATIC are trying to plant. And one shot make it up to 5. Plant is going to allow EcsTATIC to buy into this one, but been a kind of stark shift in momentum here. EcsTATIC got to really start asking questions to this T side about how do you open up a site? How do you get any kind of progression towards a bomb plant? Because the last few rounds, even with the advantage, have been troublesome to get onto those sites.
Yeah. And I think certainly you hit the nail on the head. You got to ask a lot of questions. Such a solid start from them into this game. Look, absolutely unstoppable for 5 or 6 rounds. And it's just disappeared. You know what I mean? It's high highs and low lows, I suppose. Wolfy ready for the boost up, though. I think he may well have spotted them because they did fail it and go for it again. So, one shot, giving that one away a bit easy. Molotov comes in. Really well done from EcsTATIC here to give them 2. And, they've got 50 seconds. That's plenty of time to get into a bomb site. And again, the utility usage onto the AWPer. Very solid indeed. Catching him out in the open as the desperate attempts here from the remaining one-shot players to keep things together come in. And Greg looks okay in isolation, but the round surely has to be over. 19 HP. And they don't even really need to approach him now.
Greg then, forced to save. Next round will be the last of the half, so of course one shot have to invest, and getting this rifle into the next is going to be all important. And given the rounds in a row, I suspect the loss bonus is very, very low indeed for one shot as EcsTATIC. They're asking questions, saying what's going to change, find some good openings, and they group up and they play together and much more decisive. And you mentioned it in a joking manner, but actually getting up onto a bomb site with 45 seconds remaining gives them so much more flexibility, doesn't it? To play it slow and clear out all the angles rather than having to zerg up and try and get that bomb plant. So, good recovery. And I guess overall, EcsTATIC are on track for a very strong T side.
Yeah, simple stuff. I guess that's what it comes down to. No, one shot. I think they can, be really happy with where they're at, for sure. They maybe want a little bit more. As we said, T-sides are where it gets a bit difficult. But thick and fast maybe does hand itself to Vertigo a little, so we shall see. Slow start. Bits of utility. Tit for tat. It is the turn of the half here, so Not really wanting to go in all guns blazing.
Retake Molly. Bird from Sky. That'll help them get back in towards the ramp here. As Greg gets caught in the open, and how many rounds have we seen trying to make plays in mid and getting caught alone? EcsTATIC another man advantage. Position here in towards mid for good measure, and one shot. Look at the rotates here on the CT side. They're scrambling to find any information, any replies, and it's EcsTATIC that are just laying down the utility and choosing to group. This looks much better on the T side from them.
Yeah, I think you do have a tendency, and maybe you can add to this a little bit more, to get kind of complacent when you're super far ahead. And it definitely feels like that's the way that it went, and then all of a sudden you run out of money, you know, and it's difficult to recover it back. Fadet surviving the double nade, by the way. Able to get away with one, which is absolutely ridiculous. And again, they run the clock way down. There goes the bomb onto the deck, quickly recovered back. Quick frag from Wolfy gives the space to get the bomb down. Should be all good. No flank. Nothing along those lines, so just a full frontal attack. Big damage onto Wolfy. Blinded up and spammed down is FPS. Down goes Jekka to Wolfy's AWP that managed to survive there pretty nastily. So we'll get into the turn of the half, wait for those guys to flip over into half number 2 as well. But yeah, I mean, getting the 10, certainly I think what we would have expected after the 7-0, 8-0 start. Yeah, I think it was 8-0, wasn't it? And then a run of 4 rounds from one shot that looked relatively good. But I don't know. I don't think that's quite enough on the CT side for me.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit scary, and of course, we'll speak about it going to second half, but pissed around and converting it, almost certainly a prerequisite, and we spoke about it going into this map. You can just tell how...
We back. Half number 2 getting underway, as you can see, and we're straight into it, you know? No messing around in that boring old freeze time. We're straight into the action, as one shot looking to get the B-bomb site going. They have plenty of utility to work with, an early peek coming in from the back of the site. Nadage on that EcsTATIC side as well to give a bit of control and a bit of a chance to re-peek ultimately. Smoke goes down as well. That's going to make life very difficult for the Glocks and buy time for the USPs to get over here. It will be a 1-for-1 so far. Nice little touchdown nade comes in, but the Glocks up close looking good until there's 2 quick headies landed by Fasher and Daffu. The dynamic duo looking good, and so damn good that they even scare them away. Going to give the A-bomb site a go here, but there's people waiting.
Fasher in play, already on default. You can hear these players running up, and he's telling his teammates, get over here. It's definitely A, and it's an execution on that A-bomb site. No bomb plant as well for one shot. That would have done them wonders in terms of thinking about the reinvestment. And already here, it's looking like EcsTATIC's map to lose. Now that they have pistol, best case scenario here for one shot is a kind of Tech 9 armor buy, and they're going to choose to save. So EcsTATIC, barring a huge blunder, well on their way to 12.
Yeah, what do you think? The early AK buy obviously is what they're going for, folks. What do you think about this? Ooh, okay. I thought that was the flick Glock then coming in. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a fan of it, I think.
Pick your poison, really. Like, okay, you're so far down on rounds that you can look at it from the perspective of we need to, get one now, get a reset, claw ourselves back into it. But of course, on the pistols, going to be tricky. Or do you save, give up another round, give up economy? It's hard to choose, and I'm not sure what we would have done in their position, to be honest. But clearly, one shot decided. We like the rifles. We're going to get them in play. And Daffu, the flash actually didn't catch that close play, and he's lucky to escape with his life.
Yeah, man, that's very unfortunate indeed. Obviously, they're on the bonus here, keeping 2 MP9s in play. One, it looks like didn't really have a chance, to be fair, for Daffu, but all the same, kind of ridiculous that he does get away, to be honest. Maybe the 1 kill, but then traded, but they just weren't set up on the one-shot side of things to do so cleanly. So now we have not only a 5-on-4, but also Fadet being low HP. Big chunk, as Cynics is left on the funny number, but it's really not looking too good. 3 players remain. A lot of them worse for wear. EcsTATIC just speedrunning it, like you said earlier, looking to take over the game on this CT side and get it done. Fadet goes down to the molly. What can you do, really? Nice shots from Jekka. Shots plural, to be fair. but the round itself probably out of the question at this point.
Next duel's important. If they can fell Wolfy, there is a chance here. He's dancing around the smoke, making it difficult, finds the first, and Jekka tries to find the trade, but another player is on location. It's 13 for ECSTATIC. Money's all over the place for one shot, and again, it's another scenario. Pick your poison. Do you save and buy up? And they're already up on 14. Do you try and force buy here and try to do something to stem the tide? An enviable position, and they've decided we're going to half buy at most and get the rifles out in the next.
Well, it is another pick your poison scenario, isn't it? Tech9's charging forwards, though. The Mac 10 able to find one as well. Quick burst, contact play through the smoke. That's what we like to see in a round like this. Smoke's going down to buy time, and Daffu will get caught getting too aggressive, not ready for FPS. 2 A1S's retrieved now. Wolfy at the back end of this A-bomb site does manage to take down one. A nice nade, a nice follow-up. I think it's the molly, though, unfortunately, so FPS able to get the hell out of dodge. But it buys time, means they can't get the bomb plant. You've got to find this round if you're one-shot, even though you are on the weaker buy, but players split up, and ECSTATIC, the remaining two, running rings around them right now. They brought a 4-on-2 into a 2-on-2, and this looks kind of dire. They'll miss a couple shots, though. They are indeed human, running out of ammo, but Wolfy's just caught out in the open with his pants down. He'll go down under as well, I suppose. 6 coming in for one shot now. A lot more work to be done, but it does start a little earlier, I guess, than they were expecting with a half-buy.
Signs of life, and I guess throwing Nuke into the mix. Getting a bit of a pattern here. The half-buys are always winnable for either squad. As ECSTATIC, that was their chance to close out the map cleanly, and now the buy's good, but it's not perfect. FAMAS in play. Deagle as well. No kits. Not quite full utility, so they made it more difficult for themselves, but they're still a long way ahead. And they really do crave playing the CT side.
Slapped. Slapped again. Orp slapping as well. Lots of quick frags coming in so far. Fasher looking to turn the tide. Left blind. Shot is missed by FPS. And somehow nobody goes down from that exchange. Still an advantage for one shot to work with. And we'll see. Daffu's left low. Bird-from-Sky's got his hands onto an Orp. That has proven to be a bit difficult for one shot to deal with, especially on that A-bomb site. But back to a standstill for the final minute.
Little bit of A pressure coming out from Fadets, but that's just a ruse. Bombs going towards B. And look at this. It's only Daffu in defense. 19 HP of FAMAS. Teammates are a long way off, as this should be an insurmountable deficit for himself. Molly's raining in for good measure. That was going to force him out wide from quad, and I'm amazed he's still alive. Finding a kill there's very impressive. And now one man to the good. Surely this is one shot's round.
Bomb goes down. Looks to be the case. I think Mr. Bird-from-Sky is a little far away, and he's getting further away as trying to hold on, right? Trying to save this AWP into the next round. As you can see, the money's not really too good. So in isolation, in the short term, things looking good for one shot. There's still a certain degree of inevitability, although it's not as crazy as it could be. It's not a 14 or a 15. They have room to make mistakes, and we've seen ECSTATIC within this game get complacent and let gaps close, right? So, never over till it's over. That's the beauty of the game. There are others out there, other genres that I think it's very difficult to come back into. Certainly difficult in this one, but when you're up against the CT side, you know, a map like Vertigo as well, can be difficult to do these on-the-fly adaptations. ECSTATIC, I'm sure, still feeling confident, but these are thoughts that we have as spectators. See in this round. Bird-from-Sky, the big man, on the AWP. What can he get done?
Starting over towards Ivy. Early flash for him to swing. Doesn't look like any T-side players are really in the open. And maybe they even heard the AWP scope for good measure as Tilly now is raining in. And we can see what One Shot choosing to do. Seeing the presence on A, and they decided B surely is gonna be the easier target. Let's group up with 5, and with only USPs in defense. Feels like it's gonna be slim pickings here for EcsTATIC.
Well, they get to do a fully fledged take here on the B-bomb site. They all flashed off a little bit, and, you know, slow moving. If there were maybe some stronger weaponry into this one, that utility really could have screwed them over. Fasher able to catch Fader, but that is going to be the only frag, at least for now. And you'd probably assume that Ecsbirdfromsky will stick around for a little while. But as he loses his teammate and they encroach upon him, he'd want to get out of there, but he's not given the option. So they stick into it. They don't actually have money to buy an AWP unless someone wants to go glass cannon that doesn't usually use the AWP, which would be a bit mental. So I don't think they're going to do that. But perhaps not part of the game plan here for EcsTATIC coming into round number 22. One Shot, though, getting closer and closer. It's 3-4 more rifle rounds, depending on what EcsTATIC want to do with their money. So, if you think about it that way, it's not too many.
Yes, indeed. I think Ecsbirdfromsky looking a little foolish for not saving that AWP over. Wolfy's decided, I'm on the rifle, give me a boost. Let's play a double mid setup and FPS. None the wiser of his location. Taken low as Wolfy, but man advantage resides with EcsTATIC squad as Greg found a great opportunity. Recognizes that they're going to fall down a mid after finding the frags, and that's going to cause real havoc to these CT rotates.
Yeah, man. This is really getting interesting as we're seeing One Shot come into their own a little bit. Minute left. And they reapproach onto this ramp area. Fader. Ooh, looking. That's well peaked, to be fair, and he doesn't overextend for it. It's information in, but he knows that that is a real tough one to lose. The whole right eye, left eye peak deal is extenuated quite heavily over at the Ivy position, I would say. But if you double up, you're able to trade. Fasher, though, proving it once again as he gets a clean one onto Cynics, able to work his way out. He will just about get caught, but he's created some space here. It's going to be down to Greg. Finds the first in the 1 versus 2. Knows that Manx has surely got to be close, but really unsure of where he's at. Oh, just spots him out in towards headshot. Pretty nice peek coming in from Greg once again, but can he win the fight? Manx has got the drop on him, and it's not going to be the case. 14th hit for EcsTATIC. That inevitability that we've talked about coming in, unfortunately. One Shot maybe a bit too early as well on this little comeback train, as they're now giving themselves very, very little room to work with.
Yes, indeed. Of course, they have to invest into this one, but that's all their cash gone. Truly that way for both teams, actually. It's One Shot. In a world where they win this round, it's a clean road to double digits, and from there, maybe EcsTATIC looking a little bit more nervous. But so far in this round, neither team scraping out any massive advantages. It looks like One Shot aiming towards a B split.
Down goes Greg. Nice find from GetJacker on the entry in towards B, though. The split still trying over on the other side of that mini-map. Fader wins his fight. FPS wins his. Fader will get traded out. It's all over the place. 3 versus 2, but they're somewhat split, right? So directly it's a 2-on-2, you would say. Low HP for Jekko and FPS. There goes Jekko. Now an isolated player at the back of the site gets ripped apart by Fasher, and it's all onto FPS. An AWP in this scenario as well to try and deny away the defuse, and Fasher's gone, hold on. He's around the corner. We should be alright here, mate. To be honest, I'll just hold this. Ooh! Through the smoke, though, he gets taken down. Just on the edge of it, in fact. Nonetheless, Ecsbirdfromsky's still alive, right? And he does go, oh, you got the... Wait, where did you go? You know, he does have to double take that there's no one on the bomb, but it's all good. There's plenty of time. He'll even get the AWP for good measure.
Yes, indeed. Felt like One Shot. I believe it was 4-on-4, and they had the B-bomb site cleanly. Felt from that position like an amazing opportunity to get a full reset off and start climbing the ranks on the scoreboard, but It doesn't work out. It's EcsTATIC instead on match point, and 7 in a row to claim overtime. We've seen crazier things, but given EcsTATIC strength on this map, it feels most unlikely. Fadet finds one, swiftly traded. Cynics finds another, so let's not count them out yet. Man advantage in this round.
Comes into that question for the next map, of course, if you are maybe just joining us. It crops up every now and then on the screen as well, but it is Inferno as the decider. Really nice area for both of these teams, I think, to find themselves. A missed shot from Wolfy, and Daffu quickly falls thereafter. And all of a sudden, the round is over. So EcsTATIC tried to re-aggress into that one. Not going to happen for them. That'll be the bank broken. Probably going to force as well. So, you know, really rough scenario. One shot find a nice round again in the short term. But I guess there isn't really a long term for them. They just have to keep it going. Round on round on round. This is the good from the great, you know, the wheat from the chaff kind of scenario as to whether they can take us to overtime here. But at the very least, I could see them hitting the double digits, which is better than EcsTATIC did against them on map 1.
Yes, indeed. Should be 11 here for one shot. Double eco on the cards for EcsTATIC, and which makes it more of a kick kill that they couldn't close the round 2 ago. That after plant on B, because would have been the same position with the money for EcsTATIC, but more space to play with for one shotters. Bit of a clean-up here against the pistols. It's going to be 10. See if EcsTATIC choose to try and save anything over. Doesn't look like it. Basher, though, a nice fadeaway shot towards the end here.
He hits FPS as well, you know, so there was a world in which that was a headshot, but not going to be the case. We'll maybe see another deagle or two into this round, but ultimately not much spent. And then EcsTATIC, you know, they'd look to shut it out. Round number 27, as it will be. Timeout coming in here as well. So respect being shown, I would imagine, from the side of EcsTATIC on this one, because they're the ones under a little bit of pressure. Actually one shot, okay. Actually one shot, keeping it, as the magic man in my ear tells me. Also makes sense, right? Because you want to keep you cool, and you're like, look, this is where it gets really important. We've got to win this one, and you're kind of assuming that you're going to win this one anyway, so you don't have to talk about it too much. Talk about the next rifle, and again, you know, if you look at it in pieces, it's probably 2 full rifle buys and a force buy, depending again on which way they want to go about things. So there's definitely an argument to be made that this is certainly doable.
Bit of a blender in towards mid. Only the one frag thus far, and Ecsbirdfromsky looks unlikely to make it to. That's going to be 11 for one shots. And listen, this is only a 2 rifle round game now. Win this round, be a half buy at most in the next for EcsTATIC. Win the next, again, another force buy in the 30th. One shots have made this a lot more competitive than we expected 10 or so rounds ago.
Absolutely. And that's the way that you've got to look at it, you know, round on round on round. This is step 1, and then you got step 1.5, and then you got step 2, you know, which is the next important one. It's really not that difficult, but at the same time, it is, man. It's less about the mechanics and more about keeping it together and the calls that are made. Wolfy holding the corner. Easy frag onto Greg. Able to make it away. He's going to re-aggress, though, and that will be his downfall. That could be massive. We always say the even trades don't work for the CT side. Mid-control given up, and worry for EcsTATIC, as you can see, with mid-control coming in. They're actually heavily rotating across. Now, they've got Ecsbirdfromsky spotting on ramp, but if they get him and move up quickly, these players are pretty committed to B if you look on that minimap, right? So one shot are in a very, very good spot right now to overwhelm this A bomb site. It is certainly doable.
For the moment, they're respecting the smoke. Bit of a boost, actually, on the left-hand side. I wonder if they can spot the head out here from Ecsbirdfromsky. Smoke now starting to fade, and you can see EcsTATIC. They haven't taken any information on that B side of the map, so for the moment, oh, it's a great kill from Ecsbirdfromsky. Much needed. That's information. That's a man advantage, but he's going to stick around for more. He's still peeking out. This needs to be the first point of contact, and Ecsbirdfromsky, for me, overextending. 3-on-3. This is nail-biting stuff.
Yeah, buying time for the rotation, though. Fasher with the Molotov on towards the site itself. They are just going to play for the retake in this one. Bird from Sky gets a bit too aggressive and then probably goes, all right, guys, you've got to play safe now. Daffu through the smoke finds Cynics as the bomb starts to go down, however. So they have the man advantage going into it, but never the easiest. They've grouped up. They've still got an AWP in play to play around these crack angles. Kit available for EcsMankz. Smoke available for EcsMankz. It's the manpower that they've got to use, though. Heads spotted. Smoke onto the bomb. Tap comes in. Get that AK2. Concentrate in on it. Quick trade onto the AWPer. Hold coming in above the smoke is one. And on the bomb is the other. Can't get down. Can't get the transfer in. And an unfortunate end. Even gets the kill in the end, unfortunately, there. But, yeah, not going to work out. The defuse in the smoke is good enough. And, you know, it's one of those, isn't it? You can see it from our perspective. If you just maybe stop and then transfer down the